right. Guess who's here?
Scotty's back. Back again. What is happening? This is 5 years in the waiting?
There you are.
Yeah.
I heard you through my mic, I'm sure.
Probably. What's
There
up,
he
y'all?
is. There he is.
After 5 long years.
5 long years. Looks like I got chats squilling out. Let me turn that off on my picture. I need to have that on anyway. Browser chats. There we go. Yeah, 5 years. That was our last Setup Live show. I remember now that the channel came back up. I saw the, I made probably the night before, but it was for 9/24/2020. And you were on your way over. And then the channel went down because I was just on it earlier that morning. But yeah, by the time you showed up, it was down. You're like, what are we going to do? I was like, we'll go to the backup. And I don't think we even got launched on that. Or we started on it and then it got cut.
It was so frustrating. It took the wind out of my sails. I know we've done some shows and stuff through Rumble and whatnot over the last couple of years, but I didn't expect this. Thank God Trump won his case because that pretty much allowed all of us that have been banned to pop back up. So.
True. So things like that. In this last, 5 years of being off YouTube, but in our whole time of really delving into this since I guess starting the channel, we use that as a reference, 2018, late 17. We all have ideas of what we want in a leader. I'm not sure anyone on this planet can fulfill every single thing you want. It'd be foolish to look for something like that. But all you can do is watch and pay attention. And there's a lot of that going on. Justice. Scott, you said that earlier in Garage Talk. It moves slow. Mm-hmm. Committing crimes and running around and doing things, cheating, cutting corners, that's easy. You do it on the fly. Mm-hmm. The process of uncovering that. It's like, well, we've had all these investigations into Comey or the Russiagate. But yeah, it seems like every one of the Horowitz, Durham, they didn't have full access to stuff we're finding out.
Correct.
Burn bags and things hidden. Why? Why would that be?
The more they dig, the more we're all realizing that they were, his first term, he couldn't get anything done because there were restrictions and there was information and links. There's a process, and some of those steps in the process were forbidden, or not enough information was known, or people were just playing stupid, or they were just told no, we're not going to go forward with these investigations and whatnot. So I do understand everybody's frustration of we need enough of the talk, and let's put some people in jail. The good news is if you must be dead if you don't know that. Obviously, Comey has been indicted. Letitia James has been indicted. Democrat congressman from North Carolina has been arrested for sex charges. So, it's happening. The FBI is digging very deep into Antifa, and we can go into that here in a little bit. But that's some new stuff that most people probably aren't aware of what's been going on. So, the Justice Department finally, after 4 years of just avoiding doing anything other than going after Trump and his people, which the contradiction is just hilarious. Bannon went to prison. A couple of people in Trump's administration or staff or close friends went to prison, and they tried to bankrupt several of them. So now they're screaming that Trump's using the Justice Department as a weapon. He's weaponizing it. Like, what the hell have you guys been doing the last 4 years?
He's on a retribution tour.
Right. Well, so what?
Well, on your point, that was really good monologue there. But like you said, Letitia James, Comey, people like Bolton. He's probably next. I think Bolton's any time.
Yeah, I hope so.
Now,
even Dr. Fauci, they're digging and digging. Listen, man,
Ray's on, I guess, getting investigated. He's under current investigation now for lying.
Yep. So they're doing what we want them to do. But and the other thing is and we all should know this and understand that you don't want this Justice Department to go out and grab these people on bogus stuff, and I'm not saying that they are, but if you want these individuals to go to jail, it's going to take a good investigation. You don't want any of these jerks and monsters getting away, right? Kind of like the P. Diddy thing. I almost wish that they would have taken a little bit more time, because 5 years, in my opinion, and I think most of us would agree, is not a long enough time for that son of a bitch to be in prison.
Well, not if you look at the programs they have. Now, the federal, you do 85% of your time. It's not like state where it's 50. When people get 10 years upstate, it's like, oh, they'll be out in 5.
All right.
Do some programs, you could get out earlier.
Sure.
Federal's 85, but they do have this one program, and he might qualify. You think if you have lawyers, you're looking at every option for you to. He's already got a year served, so he got that 5, so he's already down to 4. But now he's going to do 85% of that. But there is a program, first time this, getting to all the right classes. You can earn up to 15 days a month, which is essentially cutting your time in half.
He asked for a pardon from Trump.
Oh yeah,
and Trump denied, which is good, because if Trump would have pardoned him, I would have lost a lot of faith.
Again, those are some of the things we're looking at here. It's like,
So it's happening. Is it at a slow snail pace? Sure, but I'm okay with that as long as it's going to come to fruition and people are going to be,
Wills of justice move slow.
Yeah,
they say.
Yeah.
So Bolton, real quick, do you know all the a lot of people don't know the facts. I talked about it last night, but I just like to reaffirm. Here's the other quick backtrack on that. Trump, on the very last day of his last administration, even on Twitter or whatever platform, he posted, I'm declassifying full disclosure of the Russiagate paperwork. So there he did say it. They said he didn't do it. That's what they were looking for. We're going to find out at Mar-a-Lago. They wanted that back. They did not declassify it, and that whole time he was gone.
Right.
Other than they probably sent him stuff to his house. They were the ones like, hey, where do you want us to send this? They had to wait to send it. Then they're like, we need this back. It was a reason, but he did declassify it. He was a president. Bolton, on the other hand, signed 2 lifetime NDAs with the government, and then when he got fired, he wanted to write a book, and it was labeled "My Time in the Room with Him." Unbelievable. And then again, Bolton's words is he claimed that the government was slow playing his process. Like, who are you? That, when Hillary, they came to her door like, hey, we need these emails back. There's none on the government server. She goes, well, I'll go through them on my time and look what's related to me and my daughter's weddings. Correct. And then give you guys your government stuff back. Oh, okay, Mrs. Clinton.
Yeah.
That was the one Smiley guy, too, Peter Strzok. He went to get that server and, basically left without it. Oh, Hillary's going to, go through it on her time. And tell us, that's not normally how the government works.
I call that time acid gate, right? Because they acid washed everything, and they were cleaning, and it was obvious that she was guilty and had all kinds of bogus information. And then when they washed all the servers, and then her excuse,
what do you mean, like wash them with a rag, or like I dusted them?
Why would you have to do any of that if you weren't guilty of sin? You know what I mean? So,
turned in 15 devices smashed with hammers.
Right.
Come on, that's not obstruction. What is? So, what do you think on Bolton? I mean, the audacity of him and then they slowed played me. Trump's, you had 2 lifetime NDAs. You took copious amounts of notes. Everyone noticed you as kind of this old timer. That is not bad. It's like everyone else is using digital means. You're using paper, but you took a copious amount of notes with you. You wrote this book. I looked at the indictment on him, or the reason the FBI went there, and it was actually a tip from the CIA. So now we know the CIA, if they're doing their job right under this Trump, they're not supposed to do anything on American soil.
Right.
So if a tip came from them against you, that means it came from overseas.
Yeah.
And that's not good, Bolton. So Trump did take him to court over that, and they wanted the judge to shelve the book, take all proceeds, and hold it. The judge was baffled and didn't really rule in Bolton's favor. He actually said, wow, you might have created grave national security damage here, sir. Not that this government can't come at you again down the road if they choose to, but what the government is asking me to do, I can't do, which is shelve it because you've already given it to your publisher.
Correct.
There's nothing I can do. What they're asking me is out of the question. Not that they don't have the right to ask that, but it's like, I can't do it. So they left court. And Trump's administration did get him back into court, litigating, going through. And then as it was getting there, it all went away because Trump lost, supposedly, and Biden got in, and then they shut it down. Now it's like, wait, this guy's a Republican. They always do that. Scott, it's like you have some employee that you hire on his weekend off, or maybe even while he's working with you across town, you're not there. He does something bad, God forbid, but steals something out of the homeowner. And then everyone's like, well, you hired him, Scott.
Right.
It's like you're the demon.
Right.
How dare you hire people that do bad things when you're not around? So
I put I put him in the same category as Comey, a traitor,
turncoat, turncoat,
Arnold, or the Revolutionary War general that flipped sides, right?
Turncoat.
So the Democrats spent a lot of time telling us that you can't trust Bolton, you can't trust Comey, right? When they were Republicans and was on the side of Trump and the right anyway. And then all of a sudden, now you can trust these two individuals because they're good, upstanding citizens. Like the fact that you used to hate and tell us that they were evil, and now you're supporting them because, for obvious reasons, tells me that they're just dishonest creeps.
So the media has a cycle of doing that. Like when Trump picks his own person on his own behalf, he's no good, unqualified, shouldn't be doing it.
Correct.
When it's these other ones that are going against Trump, they're like, well, he's a good person.
They're saints.
He's nonpartisan.
Right.
He's been here 30 years doing this good stuff.
They changed dramatically. Comey used to be a right-wing crazy, but now, it's I can't listen to so much of that anymore. The hypocrisy is it's nuts, and it's so obvious. I don't understand why they even have a following anymore. I can't understand why anybody supports the left or the left media because they're just blatantly full of shit.
They're going down with the sinking ship.
Oh.
They've took oaths and swore.
They're doubling down on stupidity. What they're doing isn't working, so they're doing more of the same. And it just doesn't make any sense.
You also mentioned Trump. The media is calling him out on weaponizing the justice. So it's not real clear. I mean, other than like Trump's tweeting, I can't believe this. Do something about these people before statute of limitations run out. And then, next thing you know, there's some acting, like something happens. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is a coincidence like they always have on their side, just lined up. But if you take it a little further, that Tish James, she ran on that. Ugh. So, and that's her position.
Correct.
She was the attorney general.
Correct.
If you get me in, I'm going to go into work every day and I'm going to find something on Trump. Well, what crime is it? I don't know yet, but I'm going to look. And she did. And like you said, if there was a victim, the victim would have been the bank. They would have took Trump to court.
Yes.
Here is the attorney general of New York doing it on their behalf.
So, is this Mr. Cheeks thing real? I'm following along, Sharon.
What's that?
We got Mr. Cheeks on here just said the Patriot Hour boys must have gotten picked up by the feds. Should we trust them?
Proof. Give us proof.
So we got bots.
I'm sure. It's just a common...
The bot thing has gotten crazy over the last year or two. I used to think it was, just somebody's poor software.
Mr. Take it in between the cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, if you got some proof, throw it. It's funny.
Yeah, I'm going to do him
Should we trust
this
Mr.
favor.
Cheeks?
I'm just not going to acknowledge you anymore, dude.
We can just...
Because that's what he wants.
Yeah. Let's see if he responds back. All right.
Picked up by the feds. I wish. I got a lot of things I'd like to bitch to him about.
Yeah.
You want to get on some of these?
Most people that bitch or on that side or actively help cover up.
Yeah. Sounds like CNN. So here's something that I just mentioned to Mike, and I don't think he knows about it yet, and which is cool because we'll get some honest feedback. So Kash Patel asked Glenn Beck if he'd like to send some agents over to Glenn's house to interview, and Glenn's like, what? About what? Well, what some of you may not understand or know is Beck did some deep diving on Antifa. I mean, he dove way deep. He wanted to know who's really in charge of Antifa. And I'll kind of just say this on the side. I'm going to bring this up because it is relevant and it'll start making sense that there is something to cover up here. The left media has crazily done the same thing this time like they always do. They're all saying, regurgitating the same shit. Then Antifa all of a sudden doesn't exist. There's lots of TV time and news time right now, and influencers out there saying, "Oh, this whole Antifa thing. Antifa's just it's just a metaphor. There's no office. There's no people in charge." So my question is, why have they started doing that very recently? And here's why. Beck did this deep dive to find out as much as he could about Antifa, and now all of a sudden, they're claiming that it's not like the Bad Boys and all these other. But he found where there's monies and people that have said, "Well, this $1 million we donated to Antifa." So if Antifa doesn't exist, why are there millions and millions of dollars, and who is funding it? Because that's what we're trying to figure out. That's what Glenn Beck was trying to figure out. He uncovered so much information. Yes, you have to watch these shows of his that are talking about Antifa, because once the FBI found out some of this information, they wanted to know more. So they spent 2.5 hours at his house, and he talked about it a little bit this morning. That it was comfortable, it was casual, they were asking all the right questions, and they were shocked at what information Beck and his people have found out. So again, there's investigations going on, but he is swearing up and down that the FBI is 110% fixated on this Antifa situation, because it's going to show the players at the top, right? I'm just going to say, like George Soros. I'm just assuming Soros is somewhere involved with this, but then you can start prosecuting some of these people, right? But a lot of them have screwed up and showed on their taxes, and or before they thought that Trump was ever going to take power again, that they just openly admitted to funding this group or that group. And one of the biggest groups is the Tides Foundation, right? And the Tides Foundation, you guys are just going to have to dig on this on your own. This is where a lot of monies are being donated to the Tides Foundation, and it's a cesspool for funding people like Antifa. Or, how did all these identical tents show up at the same place all the time? Well, because somebody paid for them. And then you do some research, it finds out that the Tides Foundation, when these camps just pop up anywhere, it's real convenient that everybody's tent looks the same, right? Because they just ordered 2,000 of them, shipped them there, and then all of a sudden these skids of bricks show
it's
up.
Well funded.
And
it's
the Beck's
a lot
idea.
of it's overseas funding coming in even.
Yes.
So it's people that have a great interest in helping divide and destroy this country for their purposes.
Chinese money,
for their purposes,
Arab country money, and I'm not saying the actual governments, but people within those countries, radical Islams, put money in the Tides Foundation because they learned that you can't just put everything in Clinton Foundation after those scandals, right? So this Tides Foundation is where the FBI is really digging into. So it's going to be interesting to see what they uncover and who's at fault. But this is why this is important. A private citizen, Glenn Beck, used his own time, his own research, and found enough that the FBI is now interested. He would never ever have gotten the FBI interested 2 years ago. Not under the Biden administration. That or they would have killed him, right? So I find it interesting that just a citizen, guys like you and I, or gals, we do your own research. You uncover some things. I think this administration's Justice Department cares enough. So get it out there, put it out there. But start digging into some of this Antifa stuff, guys. It's going to be fun to watch.
Well, like I tell people, like you just did, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this world. We have a lot of stuff bad here. Where, and it's like, what order do you put stuff in? I want to see some shit done here. That is, we know that the federal government is in charge of immigration. They're the only ones. The federal government can say who can stay here, how long, if they can stay, or if they have to leave. So I find it funny that I get it that these people that come here, federal government's got control, but they end up in states. They have to, no matter where you're at. You're going to be, unless you're just all going to D.C., which is the District of Columbia. But you're ending up in a state. Now, states have to deal with you. Mm-hmm. But they really don't have a decision over you if you're, no matter where you're from in the world, if you're here. So you definitely, now, certain states can constitutionally they don't have to help the federal government do their job, and that's what they'll cite kind of smirkly. We don't have to help the federal. That's fine. You're kind of right, but you don't have the right to hinder or stop the process, which starts going into other areas of breaking the damn law.
Criminality, yeah.
I mean, my gosh.
When you're speaking kind of like the Chicago mayor that told his police chief. Now, it turns out, you got to understand in these big cities, there's lots of chiefs, right? The chief of dispatch is the one that told
the stand down.
Told officers over the mic, stand down, do not assist. And the dispatcher, I guess, was like, what? They just called for help 6 minutes ago. Stand down. All officers stand down. I would think that that's a federal crime of some sort. You have federal officers asking for assistance, backup, and a man sitting in position of, it's an appointed position, right? It's not an elected position, took it upon himself to say no. Yeah. So it's kind of like that Good Samaritan law, like Seinfeld did. If you just stand there and watch somebody just get brutalized and do nothing about it, you can be held criminally guilty, or whatever. I'm not a lawyer, but so that should also apply to these people in those positions. If you're not willing to help, I guess that's your prerogative. But if you're asked for support and backup because there's
it's in their oath.
Yeah,
it's like the doctors have the oath that they have to save lives.
Yeah,
they're supposed to aid any fellow law enforcement. Now it's like, well, are they federal or not? Oh yeah, I see a badge on their on their shirt. They are no help. My thing is that Brandon Johnson and other mayors are also telling the federal government how to do it. Like, we don't need this or that coming in here. So it's like, we're not going to help you. Mm-hmm. Well, then the minute you say that, shut up.
Right.
Why are you now? Right. You're coming
don't
back
be a hindrance.
Advice.
Correct.
You're going to give some. But I'm not going to help, but I'm going to give you a lot of help in the form of talking a lot on the TV and telling you you should do it.
Correct. With a 2.5% approval rating too, by the way.
Yeah.
And now the governor of the state, he put this was his pedestal to stay. He ain't getting reelected.
L.A., their mayor was doing it too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what is their vested interest? Is it that they're going to lose a group of?
I don't understand it. Why are
so they're saying the censuses have been wrong. Like they're not supposed to be. Well, that's every person here.
No,
and then it's like, well, if you want to count every person here, fine. That could be one tally, but not for congressional seats.
Correct.
If these people aren't allowed to vote and it's well known, it's like,
then we can't count them.
Then we shouldn't be counting. Yeah, why not? These are people that live here. It's like, that's not how it works. They're not to be represented in the House of Congress.
Correct. They have no say.
And it's not being negative, or it's just our law. If you don't like the law, they should lobby to change the law.
And that's what's really hard for me to wrap my brain around. You don't get to pick and choose which parts of the Constitution to follow. So if you just get in line and follow, the Constitution, none of this is hate speech. None of this is, I hate Chinese, or I hate Mexicans, or I hate Puerto Ricans. It's not Mexicans that are the problem. It's a whole bunch of people from all around the world that came here illegally, and that is serious.
Well, they talk about, and it gets ugly. But the Democrats, who's going to pick the fruits? It's almost like it sounds eerily reminded of
reverse racism.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, those people are still allowed here. They have a green card.
We have a program.
Yeah, there are programs in place where
when it's called a seasonal migrational worker.
Right.
I have no problem for 3 to 4 months out of the year for that time frame, maybe, and
they go back.
Yeah, and they love it.
Right.
They get mad probably at their fellow
giving them a bad name, man,
or not being able to come. It's like, there's no jobs. We don't have enough to fulfill all of your actual government approved.
Correct.
Visa for 4 months seasonal work, because there's so many illegals in the country that they're doing the work. So we're just trying to, hey, like we said, lobby the law. Don't. You're never going to change the law just by breaking it over and over again. Like, fine,
How? That's these lefties that say, well, they didn't break any laws. These people are peace loving. Not all of them, but yes, 100% of them broke a law, a federal law. So
it's just a civil thing. It's not the same as they get into
this
all
goes.
that.
See, and I hate spending a whole lot of time talking about it because for us on this side, which I think is probably 75% of the population, this isn't a red and blue thing. I think the super majority of this country is okay with what the heck's going on. Certainly, all of Trump's voters wanted this to happen, and there has to be a large percentage from the other side that also wants their cities to be safer again. We're not throwing crop pickers and people that are here honestly. We're not throwing them out. And by the way, this $1.5 billion or trillion dollars that Schumer he screwed up. He put it in the paperwork. It's on page 57, section 32.41. I did a dive on this the other day on my own. But the fact that some of the left and all of the left media are okay with spending putting $1.5 trillion in this new budget to give to illegals. I've had it, man. I mean, my kids come first. Veterans come first.
Homeless.
$1.5 trillion is a shit ton of money to be giving health care, Medicaid,
and then they say that's less than 1% of the overall. I mean, they always just shove you with bigger numbers that we do.
So it's
don't care.
1/30 of the GDP. Well, if you allow certain, okay, so let another 1.5 trillion go to something else, and then 1.1 trillion. Before you know it, that's why we're in debt, right? So I don't understand the logic behind these people that are against deporting illegals and for spending 1.5 more trillion dollars. That money ain't going to you. It's going to illegals. And so
you're talking about the thing they've had put in there since Obama that's getting ready to expire at the end of this year. It's an emergency fund that it's such semantics with the left and right on that, but it is the right. The Republicans are right on this. It is no Democrat gets straight up Medicare illegally, fill out for it and then get. I mean, maybe there are some fraud, but just legitimately in the program, we all know it's against federal law for that to happen. But this excess money hits, and then it goes to these states, and it sits in their emergency funds at the hospital. People show up, and whether they're illegal or not, they get cared for, and then they leave, and then that unpaid bill comes out of these funds. So it's a workaround.
Correct. Absolutely. And it's bogus. And I don't know why anybody, now the left and the media are spinning it as they leave out the illegal part of this phrase. Americans are going to lose Medicaid and Medicare and health coverage. No, they're not. No American citizen is going to lose Medicaid or Medicare benefits unless there is a stipend. Now, it hasn't been put in the law by Congress yet because this is what Trump wants, his administration wants. If you're fat and lazy and we know you can work, you're going to get pulled off of it. But that's not what this is right now. What this is right now is illegal Americans are not going to be allowed to be on Medicaid or Medicare anymore. And I'm okay with that. But they forget, the ones that are pushing for this forget to use the word illegal, and they're trying to scare Americans. They're trying to scare my mom.
They do that all the time.
72, 73 years old. If you continue to support Trump and this administration and this CR bill, then you're going to lose Medicaid and Medicare. And there are some people that, especially the elderly, that are misinformed or not sure. That bothers them. They're worried about it, right? Because it's been planting in their ear. So shut the hell up and quit lying to the American people. It's not going to affect legal citizenship.
Yeah. Don't get it confused, folks. They do that all the time. Illegal immigrant, and they'll just take out illegal and say, well, these immigrants.
It's all scare tactics. It's all bull. And I'm going to give a big shout out to Fetterman, the senator from Pennsylvania.
You see the ticker at the bottom? I had put that in there last night, the red one. It said it's coming up right now, but it's like Fetterman detaches from.
Yeah, him.
It's breaking.
Him and two other Democrats, and I don't know the other two that the last time they just voted or took a poll from the senators, there's now 3 Democrats that have moved in that direction. And Fetterman's one of them. And I watched an interview with him this morning. What a breath of fresh air. And I am here to say I'm sorry to him, because when this first was going on and Fetterman was going to run for Senate and he was this big slob wearing hoodies, sweatshirts and everything, I jumped on the right's bandwagon like, come on, man, let's have a look. I know we on some shows.
It's normally the left that
have
attacks
some
the
class and put a suit on. I remember sitting in this studio and saying shit like that.
Look professional. I mean,
Right.
like right now, does it matter that I just have boxers on?
Right. But so I have a new renowned respect for Fetterman, and what a breath of fresh air. And I think by going public and speaking the way he is right now, puts him in a front runner position to be. I would love for him to be the Democratic leader moving forward, because right now you got Schumer and AOC that are the top of the Democratic Party. Scares the hell out of me. A guy like Fetterman, okay, I can deal with that. We can probably work with him. But Jeffries and AOC and Schumer, you're not going to get anything done with these guys except more of the same shit.
Yeah.
And some of the O'Connell, some of these Republican dinosaurs, I got a problem with them too. But this particular situation with the CR bill, shame on all Democrats right now, except those 3 that they're trying to get the government opened. They just refuse to, and I don't understand how they politically think this is good for them. We're going to keep the government shut down.
Well, like Daniel Bird said here, Fetterman was crazy, checked himself into a mental clinic, if you remember, for that 3 or 4 or 5, 7 days, and then he came out, and he's not so liberal anymore.
He got treatment. They got
him on a good dose of pills and mental stuff, so he is doing a lot better. And you can see it.
Well, good. So I'm all for treatment. By the way, a lot as far as I know, or maybe you guys know, my last trip to California when my Marine was promoted, I told him this is my last trip to California because it was absolutely hell. I mean, the weirdos walking around, the mental patients walking around. My point is, during COVID, when they closed these mental hospitals and just threw these people on the street, guess what, folks? They haven't opened them back up. And that's a lot of these people that you see on video doing stupid shit, spitting in cops' faces, smacking people. These crazy women, older women, I'm not picking on the women, that are just losing their minds and screaming at people because they hate your flag or they hate your hat or you're fishing in my pond. I mean, we got a big mental crisis in this country. And a lot of it's because they didn't reopen these mental hospitals. So I'm glad Fetterman actually went and got help. And I know that's just a joke, but I can work with that guy. Yeah. I have no problem listening to him. He's easy to listen to, and I catch myself agreeing with a lot of what he's saying.
When some of these people, like you named, Hakeem or AOC or Schumer, it's like they're setting their ideas. I mean, that's really what it is. They have their ideas, I guess, and we have ours, and there is not going to be any kind of... But all right, I got this queued up. We're going to play it again. We were just talking about Lita James.
Letitia.
They want to talk about weaponization. Mm-hmm. This lady's in that position. Trump isn't the one...
He's not a prosecutor.
Yeah, he's not a prosecutor. So it's like a stretch. They're like, well, Trump's doing this. Well, he's demanding these people go after her. I was like, well...
Did they break the law?
Yeah.
If you broke the law, the government...
They're not citing at all. That's the thing missing out of the Comey, the Bolton. Oh, he was a huge critic of Trump. No, he was supposedly a Republican going on a CNN tour, coming to your channel talking, well, Trump just didn't have any respect for classified materials. He didn't know how to handle it properly. If it was on his desk, if it was a French fry, Trump would grab it. It just happened to be some classified material. Right. That's exactly what this guy said. Yeah. Now you have all this shit around your house. You were maybe giving some of your copious notes over to...
By the way, you broke the law.
Yeah.
An attorney general has the right to prosecute you.
Can the news mention that just a hair, by the way? Right. Like, we'll see. This is a process.
Remember, like I just said a minute or two ago, these are the same people that are saying the illegal immigrants haven't broken any laws.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about the one when they came here illegally? That's just a civil offense. That's breaking the law, civil offense or not. All right, here it is. I showed this last night, but it's great, and I had it queued up, so we'll watch it again.
Never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president.
We're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the He's going to know my name personally.
I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him.
Tish getting what she dished. New York AG Letitia James indicted on mortgage fraud. After spending years weaponizing the courts against Trump and his businesses, she's suddenly crying foul about weaponization.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
But CNN says, what's the big deal? Everybody commits a little mortgage fraud.
What Tish James, and again, we're still getting the details, but if it's related to this mortgage issue, I mean, this is something that everyone in America, or many people at least, if you're lucky enough to be able to buy a house in America, you deal with this, right? The federal government doesn't go after all of these people for doing this.
Isn't it ironic?
Unbelievable.
Once again, the full-blown hypocrisy of the Democratic positions.
She was in court to even see it through. Like, Trump's there, she's in the back kind of like watching over. Now, if Trump showed up at her court case watching over to make sure she got, it would be, again, it's different. Mm-hmm. She campaigned on it. Mm-hmm. And someone would say, well, Trump did too,
Well, let me ask you this, and I don't know where I heard this, but it was the best question that if I was the Attorney General or whoever the prosecutor ends up being, I'd only really ask in front of the jury. And by the way, a grand jury was asked, is there enough proof here? A grand jury indicted her, right? It wasn't Donald Trump or a prosecuting attorney or the Attorney General. It was taken to a grand jury.
And you have to get more than half.
For those of you that don't understand this, if a grand jury pushes it through and forward and says, what they're saying is, yes, we citizens think there's enough information in front of us that she should be found guilty. So she's going to go to court. It wasn't one person that, made this happen. It was people that were asked, look at this information and give us your honest opinion. And the majority of them said indict her. So they indicted her. But if I'm that prosecutor, the only question I'd really ask her is two parts. You're an Attorney General of New York. Yes. You're the highest sitting lawyer. You're telling me you accidentally, fraudulently signed your mortgage paper? You're saying you're so stupid that you didn't know what you were doing? I'm curious about what her defense is, because the paperwork clearly shows mortgage fraud, and there's no way she can defend that. So either A, you're just the stupidest Attorney General ever, which I already think that you are, but you can't go into this case playing ignorant. You're the highest sitting lawyer in New York that works for the government. What's your defense going to be?
They said, I just had it up. I don't know where I saw it at, but
and it's not opinion; it's fact. She broke the law.
She did it like in her 43 years of life. They said that she's done this on every single paperwork for mortgage. There's weird stuff. It can't just be like, whoops, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. It's deliberate. Mm-hmm. Deliberate. I don't know what leg of defense she has to stand on, and she's probably scared to death. But I think it's only like a 5-year sentence, or no, it was up to 30 years. But I thought I heard once that it was a 5-year max. But if she did it multiple times, then she could possibly spend. I know 30. I heard the 30 years. Sorry, Tish. If you would have just shut the hell up and wasn't doing this against Trump, maybe nobody ever would have brought this to light. And I'm sorry that might be true. It's almost like for Trump, if he wouldn't have, got in and been president
and pushed back,
and then, pushed back, got out supposedly, and then said it was all a fraud. And then for the next 4 years as a civilian, these people came after him. Now he kind of if he never would have done that, he wouldn't have had all these things come to him.
Correct.
That's another way to look at it.
We'd be a weaker country today. Yes. That's a really good point.
Like he did it to himself, but it's like
Had he had not
that's-
ran, he'd still be loved and on TV, and he'd be hip hop generation and culture,
Well, and this
which is still there anyway.
This is the interesting fact of when you do some of this research and you see some of the games played, stuff like with Nixon, how they didn't want him there, and it's like, he's the most popular president. But the CIA, some of these agencies, they get involved. They're like, show me the man, we'll show you the crime. That's kind of a scary thing, because it just goes to show you they're going to dig deep enough and they're going to find something on you. And that's what they were doing the whole time with Trump. Now, on the flip side of it, I wonder if people like her, I still want to know the network. Like when they needed this to come out, it seemed like Biden had a lot of ties, being his 30 years in the government and all that. That's all his life was in the government.
Yeah.
So do they put out this thing like all of a sudden these people are just all around the country helping, not just Biden, but like that side? Like we see the well-organized Antifa.
Pushing the
So
bullshit.
if they're that organized, you don't think this other tentacle that
Correct.
works for some of these other people can be organized? So my point is, did somebody put her up to this, or was this her own organic,
Hell.
just running off or yelling at the mouth about Trump? And I think if I yell Trump, people will get me in. But that just seemed weird that was a campaign. Like there's so much more going on in New York.
And it was ironic that it's
And then she did
the
all this.
highest AG position in the country, other than being the Attorney General, right? Of the United States, in New York City, the most prominent city in the country. That's where all the money and all the power is. It's real ironic that is the place and the person, the Attorney General of that particular state, that they chose to have the battle against Trump. It's not ironic, right? It's liberal. They thought that they could do it and find him guilty, or at least bankrupt him, or that
Put
was
him
the
in
best.
jail.
I guess what I'm saying is the best scenario, best place. If you were going to go after him, you would do it in New York.
Well, they were doing it by trying to, assassination attempts.
Yeah.
And then bankruptcy, putting him in jail.
And if you don't
muting
believe
him,
that, you're an idiot.
muting him on social medias.
Yeah,
You know,
kind of like us.
like others. I mean, so
We can't beat
that's-
you, so we're just going to kill you or shut you up.
Yeah, that's everything.
That's where we're at now. That's what that side is doing. I mean, look at Charlie Kirk. God bless you, man. He was a thorn in a side, and you cannot convince me that kid made that shot. You're not going to convince me of it. I lean that way. But I'm not going to talk about that for another week or two, because I'm waiting on two particular people to give me their opinion and show me some more facts. There's more to come about that Charlie Kirk thing, and I'm saddened if it is what I think it is. Anyway, I shoot guns. I mean, 200 yards. You keep hearing certain people say, kind of like what the Warren Commission and they did back in the day when JFK was assassinated. Oh, it's an easy shot, and here's how easy it is. It was an impossible shot for the JFK situation, and come to find out after all these years, he actually was shot in the forehead, and everybody knows it. So a 200-yard shot with that particular gun in the right hands is possible. 200 yards is a far enough shot, in my opinion, for a whacked-out, weird young man that didn't really... He had problems. He had mental problems. To lay there steadily, knowing he was about to end somebody's life. You know, that sounds easy. Oh, I can pull the trigger. I don't think mentally that anybody without training has the ability to sit there still, aim for such a small target, and make the shot. Is it possible? Sure, but
they're
it's
timing.
tough.
The videos are clearly edited, I guess, that they've released. I don't know why they won't release them all. Again, it's always that hindering. All they have to do is release that 3 seconds they didn't release, and then we'll all know. And then if they just hold on to it, it kind of seems like there's something more. It's obvious to people. But
Brett, I know
the
what you're-
timing. They're talking about the timing, and I don't know enough yet. Like you said, I'm going to wait. but
Brett, that's what my point was going to be.
the video they show of him, they're like, so we're supposed to believe in the next 3 seconds. He
Correct.
takes a shot, gets up, and he
Correct.
runs with it.
What was the point of the old man saying, it was me?
Yeah.
Distraction, right?
Yeah.
There's no other reason why that guy would do that. Because you know what they found out once he said it was me?
Well, that helped. Everything
He's
came
gonna-
on him, on the mics. We got him. We
Yeah.
got him.
And that gave
Everyone.
somebody time to get away,
Yeah.
right?
That's the old, now if I'm a police officer, the a security campus guy on the college.
Correct.
I'm not looking anymore for anything, and I'm not recording
Bam.
anything in my eyesight.
That's why this is not a conspiracy.
Maybe turn off my camera.
Exactly. The definition of conspiracy kind of explains this. You know, why would this old gentleman do that? And here's why I know it was planned, and he was a part of it. But he forgot one little thing, that whoever his handlers were going to turn on him, and now they have turned on him, because what did they find in this man's home and on his computer? He's a pedophile,
yeah.
And he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. I hope it's a very short week or two,
Yeah.
once he gets prosecuted. But why would he openly just take responsibility, draw attention to himself when he knows he's an effed up guy? It's because he's convinced that he's got backing, support.
Yeah.
This will never come to light. We'll take care of you. We'll protect you. So there's more to this.
Well, like we said, the Antifa, well organized, or doing that, blah blah blah, and it's like, if sometimes these other people, if they're well organized, at least as half as the Antifa funding, on plotting deep state false flag events. I'm wondering why they always use these people that have like James. Why?
Right.
Her background was horrible. She's gonna call out Trump for the same exact thing, kind of,
Because she's easy to manipulate. They don't.
Gosh.
Why they crazy?
You know, if they're talking to you, like, we want you to do this and go out and publicly, you're going to go after him for his mortgage fraud because he's scum of the earth for doing mortgage fraud. Real quick, Mr. Deep State, I've done mortgage fraud too.
Don't worry about it.
But don't worry about it. It'll never come to the light of day.
Right.
It just seems a little odd. Well, can you wipe that out for me before I go on this tour of bashing
Right.
Trump for it?
Right.
Or is it exactly this? I'm going to scream real loud. I mean, out of nowhere, out of left field, she goes, mortgage fraud. And then years later, it comes back on her. Now the media is just there to say this is retribution, not that she did it. But nobody yell at you what you did and project it. That way, when you come back on me, I'll be like, I said it that he did it first. Now look, is retribution a bad thing, by the way?
No.
Some people, I mean, I guess depending on the so if I'm a judge,
If you broke the law, you broke the law.
But don't some people sit in prison like grinding the blade? Like, when I get out, I'm going to jab the judge or the prosecutor, attorneys that took me down for this. They're all going to pay. Now that's his retribution in his own mind, and it might not be justified in the eyes of, if I put it into a book or a movie, you'd have a character like, he's bad and got out and did bad things again.
Correct.
But that was his retribution.
Yes.
And that's what they're trying to act like Trump's doing. It's
Well, they're putting a label to it just to discredit him and make him look like even more evil.
it's just them saying that. It's like, wait, why would he need to come back after? What did they do to?
Kind of like all the auto pin pardons.
What did they do?
What did you do that you needed a pardon? That blows. Anyway.
So if somebody tries to screw you over in life, some people decide to get even, or do something back, and that's
It's a moral. It's a moral decision. At
Some
that
people
point.
just say, "No, I'm done with you. You're not my friend anymore," and go their own way. But man, they're acting like this retribution thing is just totally unheard of. He's taken enough of it.
Yeah.
It's opposite. Him is coming from all angles.
It's 100% hypocrisy.
Him, when he does it, it's coming from one man, I guess. And it's
Yeah.
there's the difference.
So I want to take a few minutes and let's talk about our great president in some good light. What's going on in Palestine, in the Israeli situation. First of all around the world, people should be thinking, this is great. This is good news. This is good. Whether you believe in God or not, this is just a really good time for anybody and everybody on this planet, because it shows good versus evil. People are coming home that have been kidnapped and brutally assaulted while they've been kidnapped. Unfortunately, there's dead bodies that are getting returned too. But God bless Trump. It wasn't too long ago that even the right side media and some people that I respect 100% said, "Man, don't promise this. Don't get on that microphone and that camera and tell the American people that you're going to put an end to this, because it's almost impossible. Hamas is crazy. It's Middle East stuff that's been going on forever. We don't negotiate with terrorists. There's no good end game to this." And God bless him for having the strength and the ability and the fortitude. Him and his son-in-law, Jared. Jared was a big part of this. He was the liaison that the administration put over in Israel to be the front man to see what could be done. Happy day, man. We could shift and say, don't you think he should have got the Nobel Peace Prize? Everybody and their brother knows he should. But the devil took one right in the chin, because even CNN, even Hillary Clinton said, we all said you couldn't do it, but they congratulated him and said, well done. And, when you stare at evil right in the face, and he starts blinking, you're doing something right. But also the devil's going to work twice as hard now. And I don't care if you call it the devil or evil or whatever. There's a lot of people that are not happy that Trump just looked really good in front of the entire freaking planet. And he's in Israel this morning, and then he's going to be in Egypt tonight, which is probably already there. I don't know the time zone difference. Signing the peace deal, right? And there's literally levels to this, steps to this. But he is so loved by a lot of the Middle Eastern countries, all around the world, actually. He's no good for China right now, right? Or China hates him.
Yeah, they found that they were
Russia's starting probably not
trying to
like
get
him.
some support.
Iran is scared to living hell of him. And then you look down in South America, down to our southern neighbors. You got another group of people down there that absolutely hate Trump. So I'm happy. I'm in a good place right now, as far as he's looking good. He's doing his job better than many other president in front of him, as far as I know. My opinion is he's got an A- grade right now. There's a few things I wish he'd.
Well, some people are upset over the Epstein, the way that was handled. Some people are upset over this Israel thing. They don't think that's always, that doesn't mesh up with them. You got to understand there's 8 billion people on the planet, and your views are yours. There's other people have theirs, folks.
My Epstein thing is if there was anything that made Trump look bad in those Epstein files, don't you idiots think that the left media and the Democrats would have shown that?
We already covered it. I got, his own words is, he does show up on the flight logs, but it was more like, we know Epstein had this plane that sat at an airport, and it was at the leisure early on to people like Trump or anyone that flew on it from one state maybe to another just to catch a flight. But he had adamantly said he'd never been to the island. You know, talk to people like Biden.
There's no proof.
He's been to the island,
There's no proof Trump was ever on the island. Zero.
Now, there's things coming out. Again, I don't know how that was handled, and I'm not saying that for me, I don't have a checklist of anybody like, oh, there it is. I'm done now. No matter what he does, it's tainted. I don't exceptionally think that was a great way for that to be handled. We know there's more there. This guy wasn't just working on his own behalf and doing things.
Popcorn, I agree with you. I don't think that the Epstein stuff is done.
Me neither.
I don't.
And it's already coming out that possibly Trump was went informant with the FBI. Again, not out of his realm. Once the thing happened with him at Mar-a-Lago and that employee in Epstein, where he banned Epstein, or maybe it was before that. I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm waiting on some stuff.
Yeah, I need more information before I can make it a definitive. Listen, man, if it ever came out and there's definitive proof that Trump touched little kids, I'm off this daisy chain. And I'll crucify him with my freedom of speech. I just don't think that's going to happen. But, I guess it's possible, because on planet Earth, anything is possible.
Anyone in it's like, why would it be possible? Well, he was in his orbit.
Yes. Right.
We know that, okay? Same with all these other people, especially the names of the people that went to the island and repeated over.
But not everybody that was in Epstein's orbit is getting this big magnifying glass and being accused of, it's...
The ex-head of Israeli, before... I'm trying to think if I get this right, but they have pictures of this guy going into Epstein's New York home where he's trying to cover his face as he's cutting through the doorway, but somebody was there getting photos. So we know there's connections there. The whole thing's always, he was in Israeli intelligence and gathering for them, because this is the kind of stuff, who knows? It points to that way. We're going to have to just wait a little longer. It's, keep waiting around. You can have your opinions on it now and be upset now, but just keep in mind, I believe, and I'm pretty sure there are more things are going to come out on that a little bit more to clarify for everybody.
Yeah, it takes Listen, man, these types of things have been going on. I always say, this kind of crazy shit started right before JFK, or way before JFK, going all the way back to starting the Federal Reserve. There has been a criminal mentality within the United States government for about as long as it's been a country, and it just kept picking up more and more power and got eviler and eviler. So it's taken this long, and just now you see some light and you see good fighting back. A little chunk of time versus a big chunk of time to get strong and be in a position to
everything going on right now wasn't done in our lifetime.
Right.
It's been generations.
So give the man some credit where
You
credit
want it
is
done
due.
in a half-hour sitcom time frame.
Right.
It's wrapped up and done and get to the net. No, it's going to take some time. That's a good point.
But I wanted to take the time to be real positive and say, hey, we got a great leader, man, and he's got good people in position at the FBI. Patel, he's just. We've got a lot of things to be blessed and humbled and appreciative for. So I give his administration and himself all the credit in the world, and I cannot believe the energy level of this man. Last night he's here in this country, then he goes to Israel, and then from Israel he's going to Egypt to shake hands and get some peace stuff done. He'll be right back in D.C. tomorrow morning tackling. I mean, he's got more energy than I do by 10.
Yeah.
It's so well done, Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
Or Mr. President, I'm sorry.
And like we say here, folks, we don't have the answers for everything. We're digging just like you. We're learning just like you. People are put in front of us for years. These politicians tell you things. You can only listen. It's like, I think he's a liar. Well, if you get that proven, nothing he says is going to win you over because you know this person to be a liar. All right. All you can do is listen to these people, what they're telling you they're going to do, and then watch. Unfortunately, that is the position we're in, right? We're the watchers. Mm-hmm. But, nobody's probably going to line up with you 100%. If somebody's doing something for you and they're landing 9 out of 10 things most of the time, if number one thing is not there for you, but it's a real big one and it creates you to fall off, support for or against, it's understandable, but that is your own choice.
Yeah.
Here, we're just going to keep following the facts and see where they take us. And I've always said it, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I line up a lot with Republicans lately in the party because of the border and guns and free speech.
I'm one of these.
Yeah.
I'm a constitutionalist. I have liberal ideals. I have conservative ideals, but if you just follow the Constitution, I guess you can be whatever you want. Just
Does that make more sense? Sometimes, like, the big debate going on around is like,
they want to pick and choose what laws they follow, and that's the difference between a liberal and a conservative today, right? I don't care about your opinion on anything that's outside of the Constitution. So if you're directly impacting change of the Constitution, I don't like you, and I call you a liberal. And that goes for right people on the right too, but I don't see people on the right trying to tear the country apart and tear the Constitution apart and asking God to be removed from schools, remove Bibles, or remove prayer. I don't see people on the right demoralizing the name of God or the history of this country. I don't. I see people on the left doing that. They're trying to shape it into something that it's never intended to be. They're evil. Clearly, they're evil. They have evil thoughts. They're making evil decisions. They're perpetuating evil upon other people. So I have a problem with that. But I mean, if you want to call yourself a liberal and support the Constitution, okay, great. Now I can get along with you. But if you want any kind of change to that document, and or you hate God, and or you hate people on the right, then you're a problem. I mean, I think it's so much easier to wake up in the morning and say hello to somebody, or see a police officer or an EMT, or maybe even an ICE agent if you guys are near one. Hey, man, how you doing? Thanks for what you're doing. I can't imagine the stress you're under and your family's under. Instead, the people on that one side are pushing back, getting in faces, being told, Maxine Walters and all these left politicians created this monster. They literally said on TV, and we all watched it, when you see a Republican or a Trump supporter get in their face, spit on them, push back.
And that's
criminal.
Clear as day.
Yeah, that's evil.
That example where for Trump is like, he told people to go and do that on January 6th. And it's like, then they show the words and Trump's like, now go peacefully. And he says it all this. And then they cut back and like, did you hear him? And they're trying to convince you. Or they had his tweet up like Chris Cuomo back then. We're going to break that tweet down. Now, what he really meant, I think, by telling the Ukraine to look into the 2016 past election or, 2018, the 2017, but he's really telling them to look in the 2020. It's like, well, no, the tweet literally says look into the past one, but you guys are trying to act like
That's a liberal thing because it goes back to. I mean, Bill Clinton took one out of the book too. It depends on what the word "it" is. You know what I mean? It's like no,
what is
that's evil at work, man. So
it's clear as day with, like you said, these people. I got a good one here of just a minute long. Cuomo, Cuomo. So the ex-CNN commentator or journalist, if you want to call him that. His brother was Andrew Cuomo of New York. Caused all those people to die up in New York during the COVID. Refused Trump's 2 naval ships, the Comfort and the USS Liberty or whatever. We don't need your ships that are full of nice nursing bed and state-of-the-art equipment. We're going to shove them into these nursing homes. Cuomo started coming out and trying to defend his brother over these sex allegation charges was the next thing that hit Andrew Cuomo. And he got in the way. And he always said, whenever I interview my brother, the 2 times I have, it's always been just bullshitting back and forth, nothing on the line. Then this whole sex thing was on the line. He had him on, and he straight up broke all barriers and got fired from CNN. Goes home, starts a podcast. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Now he's in our realm. He's going to have the whiteboard. But he's actually spinning his show to be like, I'm non-biased, this and that. It's not. It's really hard to watch.
Trying real hard.
He's trying, but man, the inner demon is just there. The demon crap in him is always going to be there, right? You could take Billy off the hill, but you can't take the hill out of him. All right, here he is with Eric Trump. This is really good.
You've been on the receiving end of the very same people that I've been on the receiving end of. And so to play coy with me as if this isn't happening in the United States of America just seems ironic and foolish given what you've been through more so than anybody.
Hold on a second. What did you just say that you think I'm doing? I'm asking you questions about whether or not if something is wrong, it is also wrong to do the same thing when you get back in power, which certainly happened the first time the administration came in. You went right after Biden, and I don't mean you weren't part of the administration. I'll get to you in a second in terms of what's going on right now. But if you think I'm playing coy, you don't know me as well as you should.
Chris,
I'm not playing coy. I know what happened to me,
Chris,
Eric.
I'm
saying that what is happening now looks like what was done to you. That's why I'm asking the question.
Did we raid Biden's home? Did we try and bankrupt Biden? Did they come after us? Did we weaponize every AG and DA, against Biden? Do we do that against Hunter Biden, who had a laptop from hell, pictures of cocaine, illicit drug use, prostitution? Did we do that? Did we make up a dirty dossier about Biden? Did they try and destroy Biden's marriage? Was any of that true? I mean, did we make up stories that Biden had secret servers in the basement of his home communicating with the Kremlin in Russia? Did we strip Biden off the ballot of multiple states? Did we take Biden off of Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and try and silence his voice so he couldn't communicate? Did we put Biden in a courtroom every single day? 91 felony counts that have all been overturned for my father now, right? For nonsense, to try and keep him off of a campaign trail and to try and destroy his life. Did we do any of that? And the answer is no. I mean, if Comey lied and Republicans want to prosecute him, okay, then you know how many people they went after for perjury?
Every one of them. That's what James Comey brags about, getting into the Trump office in the early days before they were really set. I couldn't do this in any other administration, but Trump's I knew was full of, a lot of nonsense and things going on, and they were highly unorganized. So I sent a few FBI agents over, and that's how they got General Flynn to lie. Oh. It's their little process crime. That's what he got. James Comey got Martha Stewart on.
Yeah.
It's like, didn't she go down for insider trading? So yeah, that's what they were there for. But they ended up getting her in the end, not on insider trading, on lying.
Perjury.
Process crime, 6 months.
But and I gosh, it's so good to be back in here, and I could go down different. I have so many things I could talk about, but what you just mentioned about Martha Stewart, it's funny that they go after the right, but Pelosi's ripe for the picking, and they won't prosecute her or dig it or investigate her yet. She's been smarter than Goldsmith and Sachs and
their portfolio, and it's not her though. The first step of that is like, I don't do any trading.
Right.
My husband does.
Right. But they've been better by like 158% than the next best investor over the same amount of years. Like she's just they're blessed or just lucky. I don't know, but
Congress has a stipulation on like they have to report things at paper, but it's like if you look at that and study it, it's almost like, okay, so as long as we dump it here and then blah blah blah, and then by the time it's like it doesn't matter what goes on that because you don't have it anymore. It's kind of a past tense thing, and you only did it for so. And that's what her husband's doing. That's what she reports on. It's like they're within the laws on that. But the one thing would be, is she is she telling him things? She says no. So is it all him?
I don't think they sleep in the same bed anyway. I mean, remember him and his boyfriend situation that they all said was a crazy attacker, and it turns out it was his gay lover. You're not going to convince me otherwise. I mean,
so it's if it comes down to like everything, is there a way to hinder that? Like, if we think somebody's being unethical, like Nancy Pelosi, all these years, but it all comes down to like you don't have anything dead to rights. The only thing is as if she's telling him shit and he's doing things based off that. She keeps saying no. You put her under oath, she says no. I don't know how you get the yes out of that.
enough digging, enough investigation,
or
enough
set
patience.
it up to where you just cannot, like if you're going to Congress for 4 to 8 years, you just can't trade. You or your spouse. It's like McDonald's.
That's what Trump's suggesting right now, and there's
an
people on both
American-
sides that are against it.
I know. That's what I don't get, because it's like, hell, to play the McDonald's game to even win a free burger, it's like the employee can't win. Your family member, it's like you could, like if my kid worked at McDonald's and I end up winning the $1 million piece, which ended up being a scam too if you watch on Netflix.
What's good for thee is not necessarily for me.
But man, they have it set up big time for those places, like no family members of, or they're within. And it's like labeled so good that
it kind of reminds me, and this is a rabbit hole. Hopefully, you all go down
you
real
name
soon.
king shit, like
Yeah.
Good for thee, but not
Yeah. It reminds me of the actual laws and rules behind District of Columbia, and I just want to mention this, so maybe some of you guys would just message us or whatever, or go down your own rabbit hole. But it's not ironic to me that the January 6th people were held in D.C., and here's why. The Constitution doesn't come into effect in the District of Columbia.
Yeah.
So they were allowed to legally, or not, you can't even use the word illegal or illegally, they just confined these people for as long as they wanted to because there was no law. I find it interesting that where they convene and make laws, they're not liable.
It's immune from U.S. law.
And that's fact. That's absolute fact.
And it's because D.C. sits on a sovereign chunk of land within the state of Maryland that they've carved out, whatever that is, 10 miles by 20, whatever they're...
I think it's 100 square miles, but I'm not sure.
It's carved out. It's a unique sovereign piece of land that's unaccountable, or the creature that is there. So
it's downright scary, man. Don't go to when there's a liberal in office or in power. Don't go protesting in D.C. That's what we learned from January 6th. Like, these people haven't even been charged yet, so they shouldn't be sitting in a jail. But why? Because you can't touch them. The law from any state in the country can't free them, because there's no infrastructure to do so.
Now they have it set up typically like before J6. If you got caught on illegally protesting on the grounds or going in, that it was just a infraction type thing. Like you wouldn't even get processed. You'd go, there was a $25 fine. You didn't have any court dates because they realized 90% of the people coming into DC are not from that area.
Correct.
So it was just and people got on all the time, like, all right, quickly detained, processed, $25 fine type thing. piece of paper, you're on your way, no court date to come back to. That was your punishment. They took it to the extreme on that one, as far as, because, whoa, they were trying to do.
Well, for that reason, I could. This is why I can say, from the bottom of my heart, the entire Biden administration are all guilty of illegally jailing. I call it kidnapping. All the G's, what is there, 27 of them that were held? You're all guilty of it because you are the ones that held them there. As soon as Trump came in office, all of them came out of those jails. So there's one crime you could pin on all of them, but unfortunately, the auto pin, that's going to take a while for the Supreme Court, and
He pardoned everybody.
Yeah,
I don't know if he knew that.
Everybody that was culprit in doing it. It's just. It blows my mind. It just scares me that sort of thing happened.
They're acting like that's not a big deal. This auto pen thing too, like it's
a huge deal.
It's normal.
No.
Like, this guy is incompetent. Like they almost wanted him in. They covered it up. It's like everything we talked about was just
Geppetto,
true,
man.
Bro. Yeah.
He's the president. He's the one making all the decisions. He's signing everything. He's okay with it. No, he ain't.
You think if anything early on in the days, it was like somebody was at a door and they're like, "Hey, we need Biden to if we can get the auto pen for this." Hold on, I'll go in and talk to him. And they cut in the door, shut it. They just stand there for a minute, come back out. He said, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like.
Where is he? And, he's not on the news. I don't go looking for him. I don't go Googling what's Joe Biden been up to. He could have been dead the last year he was. I don't know. I don't care.
And it wasn't a big scandal, this blanket pardon of like, well, what crimes was written in there? Like, well, it's just more of a blanket type thing.
Yeah.
Anything they happen
in case Trump's crazy.
He doesn't want to name off the crimes. If they come at him for one or two, if they find out of the 12 that this person did, that way they can just, everything's good. I don't know if you can do that.
I need this to go to the Supreme Court, and I need to, because I'll understand it better when I see all the facts and see and hear the justices' responses to seeing all the facts. I'm sure there's some illegal shit going on. It's the Biden administration, and he worked he was a part of the Obama administration. So I know in the bottom of my heart, again, and in my mind, that there's a lot of illegal shit going on.
And it is a blanket pardon. It's normally for a very specific charge, for a very specific crime. What did he do with these people? It's like, pardon my son from, and did he put in the date of Biden's first presidency? Exactly, until the end of it. I mean, then you'd know. It's like, wow, he's kind of giving you a hint where to look.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just wild. Wild.
Time, patience.
Trump's a bad man, though.
Oh, he's horrible. What a horrible human being. Jeez.
Unbelievable. All right, any closing thoughts you have for this episode?
I had one in mind, but it's just too long. So, and I know me, I'll just ramble and ramble and ramble. So, I guess my closing thoughts are Tides Foundation. Look it up. Check into Antifa. Do some deep diving on that. Follow some Glenn Beck stuff. Whether you like him or not, just watch that one set of clips, or I think it's one video. I think it's 56 minutes or something. But be happy today. Be happy. We're in a good place. We're not perfect yet. There's never going to be perfect, but don't think it's wrong to feel good right now. It's absolutely the time to feel good and applause and have some hope and faith. It's a good time to be alive.
Celebrate the micro wins.
Yeah.
What Glenn Beck, did he get out of the whiteboard? He always does a really good job when his whiteboards are full of like photos and strings and good stuff.
So I'll be honest, I had it going in my ear.
Gotcha,
I wasn't watching
audio.
videos. I was getting up and moving around this morning. But the FBI did come to his house and interview him, and he feels 110% that they're digging into this today. Because there is an Antifa, and again, I bet a bunch of you are probably thinking, why is the news saying Antifa doesn't exist? And it's all over the place right now, and here's why: because now they know the FBI is digging into Antifa. So what's the left going to do? Well, what do you mean there is no Antifa? Bullshit. So
Also, you got some new channels you want to maybe talk about?
Hey, David and I, we're the David and Scott Show, and it's just that, the David and Scott Show on Rumble. Help us out. We spun that up about a month or so ago. It's a little bit different than this show. We talk about just everything. It's kind of like a
Garage talk.
A nightly conversation that you might have with your friends. So, I mean, we'll be political sometimes. And then we're just talking about some radical shit, maybe going on over here, or just general life, or, whatever. But it's the David and Scott Show at Rumble. I know we're on YouTube, but we're just spinning it up, really. So Rumble's where we want to direct you to, the David and Scott Show at Rumble. And you'll
there's
see
a process on YouTube, and I don't know if Rumble has it, but either way, I'll look into it.
Most of them do have a process.
Well, as far as if you guys have a show sometime, I'll look at your dates. And if I'm going right before you, and then when my show's getting over, I can hit a button and it takes all the people right into yours. Right in the chat to help get them there. And now they're there. They can subscribe and interact a little bit for that.
And if you guys are wanting to know who David is, he goes by the nickname Hurt. He went. He's been on. I think he's been on somehow. So he's texted here a few times. But he went to Tulsa with Mike and I. He's a Marine. He's a Texan. He's a great man.
Patriot.
Yeah, great patriot. He's just one of my personal friends. I got Mike and I got him in my life, and Mike and I can do this in studio because I'm somewhat close. Dave and I did the David and Scott Show at Rumble. Maybe Mike can look that up so you guys actually see it. But he's 1,800 miles away, so we decided to do it this way. But if you can support us, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the link to the Rumble, and I'm gonna drop it in the description under this video here on both Rumble and on YouTube. And you guys can find that link to theirs. But we're going to do some other collaboration for sure to help promote that. And we'll talk about it. Me and Scott will probably get something lined up. I know I got Woodman. Everyone's asking, is Woodman's great as well? Right before this show, me and him are going to get something scheduled for this week, probably in the evening time. We'll let you know on that. I'll let you know. Make sure you're subscribed. That way you get the alerts. Make sure you ring the bell. That way you get the actual alert for the live show. We're going to get the links for Scott and David down below. Everybody have a great rest of it's Monday. Look for a show maybe midweek. Always a hump day show is always good midweek. So I'll keep an eye out for that.
I'd like to say good to see y'all, but obviously it's the other way around. It's good to be seen, but it's good to be back.
Yeah.
Look forward to this.
Yes. Drop everyone in all the chats. I see they're kind of meshing now. Am I still not seeing the Rumble hit the YouTube? It's not coming up on the screen. Odd. But let us know where you're checking in from. It's always a great part of the show. I like it. I like to go back and look at it. Tell us where you're checking in from. Just drop maybe the temperature and the city you're at. We could see the drastic October 13th, 2025 temperatures as we're coming into fall. But we always appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and Godspeed. I'm Mike. That was Scott.
Take care, y'all.
We appreciate you guys.